Greetings and salutations, comic book conversationalists. This is Comic Book Hangover. My name is Scott. We have another weekly haul video, but before we do that, I do want to do sort of an announcement of some things that I have coming up. Actually, one thing in particular that's coming up that may or may not affect my ability to do my videos, and that is on Tuesday. Well, let me say this. Let me put it this way. I'm not sure if I mentioned before on these videos, on any of my previous videos, that last August, I injured my ankle, and we first thought it was just a sprain, but the pain didn't go away. I wound up with a huge lump on the inside of my left ankle, and we went to get it checked out, and come to find out that I had an extra bone in my ankle, and when I twisted it, it popped that bone onto place, and it's just kind of being held in there by the ligament on the inside of my leg. So that's caused a lot of pain. I was supposed to have MRIs done and surgery and all that sort of stuff done, but insurance being insurance, I had to go through physical therapy, which probably made it worse. But I went through 3 weeks of physical therapy, and right before I was going to go in for my reevaluation on that, I stepped off a curb, putting my youngest in his stroller. I stepped off the curb, and my ankle gave way and bent again and made it even worse. So what we're doing now is on this coming Tuesday, I'm going in, and they're going to do an incision on my foot, and they're going to go in, and they're going to do an incision on my ankle, rather. They're going to go in, they're going to take care of that bone on the inside of my ankle, but the surgeon wants to take a look at my ligament that's on the outside of my ankle, because he thinks I may have done some damage to that. So he's going to do a scope on that side and get in there and repair any damage that may be done. That's going to knock me off my feet for at least 2 weeks, which means I'm not going to be able to drive. I'm still going to have to take my son to school, which is probably going to exacerbate the whole thing, but I got to do it. I got to get him to school, But that means that I'm not going to be able to go myself down to my LCS and get my comics. My wife said as long as if she can get a ride down there, she's more than happy to go get my books. I may not be in the best of condition to do any videos, depending on how I'm feeling. So for the next 2 weeks after this video, I may not have anything coming out. I'll maybe do something a little different. I do monthly hauls on my TikTok. I might do something like that just to have content, but I'm not sure yet. So if I don't have any video for the next 2 weeks, once I'm feeling better and I can do a video, I'm going to have a big, massive one, and it's going to cover everything that I was able to get during that time. So just be aware that it may be this may be the last video for a couple of weeks, just because of surgery and because of my situation. I can't do my videos in the house. I actually sit out in my car and do my videos, and it may be uncomfortable for me to do that with a freshly surgerized leg. So that said, let's check out the books that I picked up from my LCS this week. We have, let's see here, in no particular order this week, Batman Day book. I totally missed Batman Day because we had a lot of stuff to do, but I grabbed this Batman Catwoman, the Gotham War Prelude Special Edition, longest title of the week, Batman Edition. This was actually the last copy they had in my LCS, so I really lucked out with that. I also grabbed Queen of Swords from the pages of Barbaric, issue 3 of 3, so this does wrap up this miniseries. I'm super excited to see how this one ends. I've really enjoyed this series. It's a lot of fun. Barbaric is a lot of fun. I do recommend it to just anybody who wants something different, Facsimile edition, Rom the Space Knight, #1, regular cover. Now, they do have the regular cover. They have a foil version of this cover and a blank variant of this cover, so you just have the logo and whatnot. I just grabbed these ones here. I don't understand why they do all these variants for facsimiles, but whatever, they do what they do. So again, I always like to say this with Marvel facsimile editions: the 3 things you want to look for when you get a facsimile edition. If you're buying this off the internet, like off of Amazon or whatnot or whatever, look for these 3 things to make sure you are not getting a facsimile edition, and that is going to be the price. This is $4.99. $4.99 cover prices really didn't exist when Rom the Space Knight #1 was coming out. So that's your indication right there. Also, you're going to want to look at the UPC symbol. If the UPC box is slim, back in these days they were wider. They were fatter, I guess you could say. They were wider, and they sort of floated in the corner here, so you could see part of the picture on the side, on the side and the bottom of the UPC box. The facsimiles, the modern UPCs are slimmer, which is cool because it covers up, it exposes more of the artwork on the covers, but they hug the edges of the book. So if you see a UPC box, it's not chunky and floating. If it's slim and sticking to the side, that's a facsimile. Also, Marvel does a really good job putting their modern logo right there on the bottom. It's nice and small, so it doesn't cover up any of the original art. It's not intrusive. It's just there to let you know that, hey, this is a facsimile edition. So if you get a Marvel facsimile edition, those are your 3 indicators. On the flip side, we have Detective Comics number 58, also a facsimile edition. Really, the only way to tell the difference between these ones is you're going to want to take a look at the back cover. If you look at the back cover, that is where you've got your UPC box right there. These older books, especially from this era, they actually did not have UPC boxes at all, as far as I remember. No UPC boxes, but on the reprints they will. They'll have the modern logo on there, and of course, right there is your price, $6.99. $6.99 for a reprint put on sort of newsprint paper. It's cheaper paper, but you know we're gonna charge a premium price for it. But it's fine. You still get this one here. I love these old covers. They're great. I've never been much of a fan of old school DC books, but you know the covers are quaint and they're fun to look at. So there you go. And finally, I got from Dark Horse, Creepy. It says Creepy Archives. Yes, Creepy Archives Volume 2. This collects issues 6 through 10. Yeah, 6 through 10 of the Creepy magazine from back in the day. I think it was like the 70s. It's sort of an answer to the EC books. These are, if I remember right, these were done in the magazine format. So it really kind of sucks. I don't have access to all my stuff, so I don't have access to all my regular information. So that's why I got to say, you know, if I remember right, if I remember correctly, this is how it was. But Volume 2, I did start reading Volume 1. These are really interesting stories. Not really the non sequitur endings that I'm used to with EC Comics, but still some really good art, really interesting stories. You know, it's a good package all the way around. So there you go. I also picked up from my LCS, I guess that really wasn't the last thing. I also picked up can of Pepsi, just because it was cold and I'm thirsty. So there you go, that can of Pepsi. And so, cover of the week. You know what? We're going to do something a little different. I love this cover. We're going to go with Creepy Archives Volume 2, covering issues 6 through 10 of the Creepy magazine. Some great stuff there. I love these. I love these archives. They're doing the EC archives. I'm getting as many of those as I can. Doing the Creepy archives. I love it. I hope they do Eerie as well, which was a companion magazine to Creepy. I'm hoping they'll do that. And I actually would like to see them do a Vampirella archives. I would love to have my hands on some old Vampirella stories. That'd be pretty awesome. But there you go. There's my cover of the week. Those are all the books I picked up. And again, if I don't have a video out in the next 2 weeks, it'll be fine. I'm going to have something soon, okay? It's just because I got surgery in my situation. I may not be able to sit where I'm at right now to do these videos for any length of time. So that said, I hope everybody had a great new comic book day. If some great books came out, some amazing covers, some really fun variant covers. We're going to do the whole thing again next week. Hopefully I can sit here and join you with it. Other than that, everybody have a great weekend, and hopefully we'll see you next week. Have a good one, everybody.